Have you felt that creeping sense of AI anxiety lately? You know the feeling. It's a question echoing through office hallways and virtual meetings worldwide right now. Will artificial intelligence actually replace your boss? Or, if you're a manager yourself, is an algorithm coming for your job? It's pretty much the ultimate question about the future of corporate leadership right now. And I've got to say, the answer is far more fascinating than just a simple yes or no.
So, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this material today. We're going to unpack the definitive guide to staying relevant, effective, and honestly empowered in an increasingly automated workplace. Because, let's face it, this isn't a problem for 10 years from now. This is happening at your very next performance review. We are going to move right past the fear and look directly at the data to understand exactly how management is evolving in the AI era.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First up, will AI replace managers? Second, human versus artificial intelligence. Third, the data literacy imperative. And finally, we'll wrap up with the hybrid management model. Okay, let's jump right into section 1. Will AI replace managers? The myth of the obsolete leader. Okay, let's dive into this, and we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room right off the bat. 85 million. The World Economic Forum estimates that 85 million jobs will be displaced by automation by the year 2030. Now, when professionals see massive figures like this, it is completely natural to feel a sudden sense of impending doom about your own career trajectory, right?
And to heighten that tension even further, research shows that roughly 70% of routine management processes are now totally ripe for automation. We are talking about the everyday grinds: data collection, report preparation, scheduling, and basic analysis. Think about that for a second. If a machine can do 70% of what you do on a random Tuesday, what's left for you? Are you just there to drink the office coffee?
Let's move to section 2, human versus artificial intelligence, the automation augmentation paradox. We really need a reality check on what AI can actually do versus what human beings are hardwired to do. So algorithmic processing, that is where AI absolutely dominates. But interpersonal leadership, that is where humans excel. AI is incredible, literally unmatched, at crunching massive data sets and identifying complex patterns. But we excel at empathy, human connection, and building genuine trust. This really proves we're looking at an augmentation of tasks, not a replacement of people. You aren't competing with the machine. You're meant to work alongside it.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast in these statistics. Just look at it. AI heavily dominates data analysis and report generation. It processes that information far faster and with way greater precision than any human ever could. But when it comes to employee motivation and negotiations, humans hold a massive 89% and 92% dominance. A machine can crunch the quarterly numbers, sure, but it absolutely cannot inspire a struggling team member or navigate the incredibly subtle emotional nuances of a high-stakes client negotiation.
So, the crucial point is this. Yes, AI can generate an incredibly complex predictive model, but it cannot explain why it matters to your specific business context. AI systems can point out what's going on, and they can even predict what might happen next based on historical data. But they completely lack the human intuition and strategic vision to understand the why. That contextual application, that remains strictly a human task. Which brings us to section 3. The data literacy imperative, the missing link for modern managers. If AI is handling all that algorithmic processing we just talked about, what specific human skill is required to actually harness it? Well, the answer is data literacy. Let's emphatically redefine what this actually means. It is simply the ability to read, understand, question, and interpret data to make informed strategic decisions. And please note, you absolutely do not need to be a data scientist. It's all about understanding the language of data so you can guide your team effectively. You don't need to write complex Python code or build algorithms from scratch. In practice, a data-literate professional doesn't just blindly open up a software dashboard and accept whatever it says. They always start with a clear business question. They look right past the flashy headline numbers to see how those metrics are actually calculated, and they can easily spot misleading charts or bad key performance indicators. Most importantly, they don't follow AI blindly. They question its logic, applying real human judgment to translate raw data into a brilliant, actionable strategy that everyone on the team understands. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking this only applies to tech companies, take a look at how AI adoption is surging across entirely different industries right now. IT and technology is high at 79%, which is naturally expected, but look closely at finance and banking hitting 67%, and manufacturing at 50%, which, by the way, is experiencing massive growth in automation. This absolutely proves that data literacy is no longer just some tech sector niche. It is a universally mandatory requirement across the entire global economy.
That leads us perfectly into Section 4, the hybrid management model, the future state of work. Let's move to and see how this builds a completely new workplace architecture. So, what does a business look like when it successfully combines AI tools with data-literate managers? It basically operates on 3 escalating levels. Step 1 is automated management. That's where AI independently handles the structured KPIs, resource allocations, and standard reports. Step 2 is joint decision-making. Here, the AI analyzes complex scenarios, but the data-literate human manager steps in to make the final call. And finally, Step 3 is exclusively human leadership, empathy, developing employees, organizational culture, and true community building.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how receptive the workforce actually is to this shift. A massive 77% of surveyed managers and employees now actively recognize this hybrid model as the optimal work arrangement. Seriously, they don't want to be entirely managed by a robot boss, but they also definitely don't want to go back to manual spreadsheets and the painstakingly slow ways of the past. They recognize that human-AI collaboration is literally the ultimate sweet spot.
Now, here is where this model truly, undeniably pays off. When organizations actively integrate AI with data-literate human leaders, they don't just survive. They see a staggering 28% productivity improvement. 28%! That is a massive leap in operational efficiency, simply achieved by letting machines do the computing and letting humans do the leading. But you know what? It gets even better. Follow that up immediately with a 19% increase in employee job satisfaction. Think about it. When you relieve human beings of tedious, repetitive reporting tasks and allow them to actually focus on creative problem-solving and interpersonal connection, morale skyrockets. This proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that human-AI collaboration is not just better for the bottom line, it is fundamentally better for the actual people doing the work.
I want to leave you with this thought. Artificial intelligence does not need leaders to become data scientists. It needs them to become data-literate strategists. AI isn't here to replace you, it is here to elevate you. The future absolutely belongs to those who understand the language of data and bring irreplaceable human empathy to their teams. So, if a machine can do 70% of your current tasks, what amazing things are you going to accomplish with the remaining 100% of your newly freed time? Thank you so much for joining this explainer, and keep learning.